JWT 2026 for Beginners Introduction. JWT is JSON Web Token, a compact token format commonly used for authentication and authorization in modern web applications. Backend developers often learn JWT to build secure REST APIs, secure login systems, stateless authentication, microservice security, mobile app authentication, React plus Spring Boot authentication, API gateway authentication, OAuth 2 resource servers. A common learning topic is: how can beginners understand JWT clearly in 2026? This guide explains JWT basics, token structure, authentication flow, access tokens, refresh tokens, claims, signatures, Spring Boot integration, JWT validation, security best practices, common mistakes, interview questions. This is one of the best beginner guides for backend developers learning JWT authentication. Simple definition. JWT is a signed JSON token used to securely transfer user identity and claims between systems. Simple idea. User logs in. Backend verifies user. Backend creates JWT. Frontend stores JWT. Frontend sends JWT with API requests. Example: login successful. JWT returned. Use JWT to access protected APIs. Why backend developers learn JWT? Backend developers use JWT for CUR, API authentication, stateless sessions, microservices, single-page applications, mobile applications, OAuth 2 resource servers, authorization between services, API gateway security. Backend developers already understand REST APIs, HTTP headers, databases, sessions, authentication, authorization. JWT helps connect these concepts in modern applications. JWT in simple words. JWT is like a digital ID card issued by the backend. Example: this user is Nahman. This user has role user. This token expires at 10:30 a.m. This token was signed by the server. The backend does not need to check the database for every request if the token is valid. JWT authentication flow, user login, username plus password, Spring Boot auth API, validate credentials, generate JWT, return JWT to client, client sends JWT in header, backend validates JWT, allow or reject request, JWT header format. JWT is usually sent in the HTTP authorization header. Authorization: bearer EYJHBGCI OIJIUSI1. Format: bearer, token. Example API call: get API profile, authorization, bearer your JWT token. JWT structure: a JWT has 3 parts: header, payload, signature. Example: xxxx.yyyzzz, part purpose header, token type and algorithm, payload, user claims, signature, verifies token integrity. Part 1, header. The header contains token metadata. Example: alg HS256 tip JWT. Meaning: field meaning, alg signing algorithm, tip token type. Example: alg equals HS256 means the token is signed using HMAC SHA-256. Part 2, payload. The payload contains claims. Example: sub user 101, email user@example.com, role user, IAT 171000000, EXP 171000000. Common claims. Claim meaning, sub subject user ID, is issuer, odd audience, expiration time, IAT issued at, NBF not before, JTI token ID. Part 3, signature. The signature proves the token was not modified. Simple idea: header plus payload plus secret key equals signature. If someone changes the payload, the signature becomes invalid. Example: role user. If attacker changes it to Role, admin. The backend should reject the token because the signature will not match. Important JWT concept. JWT is encoded, not encrypted by default. That means anyone can decode and read the payload. So never store sensitive data inside JWT. Do not store password, credit card number, SIN, SSN, private keys, secret tokens, medical data. OK to store. Cart user ID, token, username, roles, issuer, expiry time, token ID, JWT versus session, feature, JWT server session, storage, client side, server state, stateless, stateful, scaling, easier for APIs, needs shared session store, revocation harder, easier, common use, REST APIs, mobile, microservices, traditional web apps, security, control needs careful design, server controls session, simple idea. Session equals server remembers user JWT, token carries user identity. Access token versus refresh token. Modern JWT authentication usually uses two tokens. Token purpose, access token, used to access APIs. Refresh token, used to get new access token. Access token is short-lived token, used for API requests. Example lifetime, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Used like authorization, bearer access token. Best practice. C. Keep access tokens short-lived. Validate signature. Validate expiry. Validate issuer. Validate audience. Validate scopes or roles. Refresh token. Refresh token is longer-lived token used to create a new access token. Example flow. Access token expires. Client sends refresh token. Backend validates refresh token. Backend returns new access token. Refresh tokens should be protected carefully. Best practices are store securely, rotate refresh tokens, revoke old refresh tokens, detect reuse, store refresh token ID in database, expire refresh tokens. JWT 2026 recommended flow. Recommended modern flow. Login, return short-lived access token, return refresh token in secure HTTP-only cookie. Use access token for API calls, refresh access token when expired, rotate refresh token, logout revokes refresh token. This is safer than using one long-lived JWT. Where to store JWT? Common storage options. Storage notes. Memory safer from persistent theft. Lost on refresh. HTTP-only cookie. Good for refresh tokens. Local storage. Easy but vulnerable if XSS happens. Session storage. Better than local storage, but still script accessible. Mobile secure storage. Good for mobile apps. Recommended beginner rule. Access token. Memory or short-lived storage. Refresh token. HTTP-only secure cookie. JWT with React and Spring Boot. Typical architecture. React frontend, Spring Boot login API, JWT access token. React calls protected API, Spring Boot validates JWT. Flow, post, API, auth, login, return access token. Get, API, users me. Authorization, bearer token JWT with Spring Boot system design. Client app, API gateway, Spring Boot resource server, JWT validation, controller, service, database. For microservices, client, API gateway validates token, service A validates token, service B validates token. Important. Each protected service should validate JWT, not blindly trust frontend. Step 1. Add Spring Security dependency. Maven example. Dependency, Group ID, org Spring Framework Boot. Artifact ID, Spring Boot Starter Security, dependency. For OAuth 2 Resource Server JWT support. Dependency, Group ID, org Spring Framework Boot, Group ID. Artifact ID, Spring Boot Starter OAuth 2 Resource Server, Artifact ID. Dependency. Step 2. Configure JWT Resource Server. Example. Configuration, enable web security, public class, security config. At bean, security filter chain, HTTP security, HTTP, throws exception. Return http.csrf, csrf.disable, authorize HTTP requests, request matchers, API auth // permit all, any request authenticated. OAuth2 resource server, oauth2.jwt.jwt.build. This tells Spring Security, validate JWT for protected APIs. Step 3. Configure issuer URI. Example. spring.security.oauth2.resourceserver.jwt.issuer URI, https://auth.example.com. Spring Security can use issuer configuration to validate JWTs from a trusted authorization server. Step 4. Custom JWT secret example. For simple, beginner projects, some developers create and validate JWT manually. Example using secret key. Private secret key, get signing key, return keys.hmac-SHA-p4, secret.getBytes, standard charsets.utf8. Important. Use a strong secret key. Do not hardcode the secret in code. Store secrets in environment variables or secret manager. Step 5. Generate JWT. Example. Public string, generate token. User details. Return JWTS, builder. Subject, user details get username. Claim, roles, user details get authorities. Issued at, new date. Expiration, new date. System.current time millis plus 900,000. Sign with, get signing key. Compact. Example, expiration. 900,000 milliseconds equals 15 minutes. Step 6. Validate JWT. Validation should check. Signature, expiration. Issuer, audience, algorithm, token type, required claims. Example. Public claims validate token, string token. Return WTS.parser.verify with get signing key. Build, parse signed claims, token, get payload. Step 7. JWT authentication filter. A custom filter usually does this. Read authorization header, dub, extract bearer token, validate token, load user details, set authentication in security context, continue request. Example flow. Request means JWT filter, means security context, means controller. Step 8. Login API. Login request. Post API, auth, login. Request body. And email, user@example.com. Password. Response. Access token. JWT access token. Token type, bearer. Expires in 900. Step 9. Refresh token API. Refresh request. Post/API/refresh. Response. Access token. New access token. Expires in 900. Refresh token should usually be HTTP only cookie, secure cookie, same site cookie, rotated after use, stored server-side as hashed value. Step 10. Logout API. Logout should revoke refresh token. Example. Post API auth logout. Backend should accept delete refresh token record, expire refresh cookie. Optionally blacklist access token until expiry. Important. JWT access tokens are stateless, so logout is mostly handled through refresh token revocation. Step 11. Role-based authorization. JWT can include roles. Example payload. Sub, user 101. Roles, user admin, Spring Boot endpoint. At pre-authorize, has role admin. At get mapping, admin users. Public list user response, get users. Use for. SAC, admin APIs, user APIs, organization APIs, dashboard access. Step 12. Scope-based authorization. OAuth2 often uses scopes. Example. The, sub, user 101, scope, read-write. Example authorization. At pre-authorize, has authority, scope read. At getMapping.reports, public list report, get reports. Return report service.get reports. Roles answer. Who are you? Scopes answer. What are you allowed to do? Step 13. JWT claims design. Good claims. Sub. User 101. ISS. HTTPS. auth.example.com. Odd. My API. Roles. User. IAT. 1710000. X 171000900. Avoid too many claims. Bad JWT payload. Password. Secret. Credit card. 1234. Full profile. Rule. JWT should be small, useful, and safe to expose. Step 14. JWT expiration. Expiration is very important. Access token. Short expiry. Refresh token. Longer expiry with rotation. Example. Access token. 15 minutes. Refresh token. 7 days or 30 days. For sensitive apps, use shorter expiry and stronger checks. Step 15. JWT signing algorithms. Common signing options. Algorithm type usage. HS256 symmetric. Same secret signs and verifies. RS256 asymmetric. Private key signs, public key verifies. ES256 asymmetric. Elliptic curve signing. Beginner rule. Small internal app. HS256 can work with strong secret. Microservices public authorization. RS256 is usually better. Step 16. HS256 versus RS256. Feature. HS256 versus RS256. Key type. Shared secret versus public private key. Signing. Same secret versus private key. Verification. Same secret versus public key. Microservices. Less ideal versus better. Key exposure risk. Higher versus lower for resource servers. Simple idea. HS256 equals one shared secret. RS256 equals private key signs, public key verifies. Step 17. JWT validation checklist. Backend should validate. Check. Signature. Expiration. Issuer. Audience. Algorithm. Required claims. Token type. / user status if needed. Permissions if needed. Never trust JWT only, because it can be decoded. Correct rule. Decode plus verify plus validate claims. Step 18. Common JWT security mistakes. 1. Using long-lived access tokens. Bad. Access token valid for 30 days. Access token valid for 5 to 15 minutes. Storing sensitive data in JWT. Bad. Password. 123456. Better. Sub. User 101. 3. Not validating signature. Bad. Decode token and trust payload. Better. Verify signature before trusting claims. 4. Accepting alg none. Bad. Accept unsigned tokens. Better. Allow only expected algorithms. 5. Ignoring audience. Bad. Any token from issuer is accepted. Better. Accept only tokens meant for your API. 6. Keeping JWT in local storage without XSS protection. Local storage is easy to use, but JavaScript can access it. Better. Use short-lived tokens. Protect against XSS. Consider memory storage. Use HTTP-only cookies for refresh tokens. Step 19. JWT blacklisting. JWTs are stateless, so immediate revocation is harder. Common solutions. Short-lived access tokens. Refresh token revocation. Token deny list for critical logout. JTI claim tracking. User session version. Key rotation. Example. If user changes password, invalidate refresh tokens, increase token version, reject old tokens. Step 20. Refresh token rotation. Refresh token rotation means Every time a refresh token is used, issue a new refresh token and invalidate the old one. Flow. Refresh token used. Validate token. Revoke old refresh token. Issue new refresh token. Return new access token. If old refresh token is reused, possible token theft detected. Then, check revoke session, force login, audit event. Step 21. Cookie-based JWT. For web apps, refresh token can be stored in cookie. Cookie settings. HTTP only, secure, same site equals lax or strict. Path equals API auth/refresh. Max age equals 2in. Example. Set cookie. Refresh token equals ABC. HTTP only, secure, same site lax. Path/API auth refresh. Benefits. JavaScript cannot read HTTP only cookie. Better refresh token protection. Controlled backend path. Need to consider. CSRF protection. Same site setting. CORS configuration. Step 22. JWT and CSRF. If JWT is stored in authorization header, CSRF risk is lower. If JWT or refresh token is stored in cookie, CSRF protection matters. Use same site cookies, CSRF token if needed. Strict CORS policy, allowed origins only. Step 23. CORS with JWT. React frontend and Spring Boot backend often run on different origins. Example. React http://localhost 3000. Spring Boot http://localhost 8080. CORS should allow only trusted front-end origins. Bad. Allow all origins in production. Better. Allow only https://yourdomain.com. Step 24. JWT in microservices. Microservice flow. Client, API gateway, user service, order service, payment service. JWT can carry ACK, user ID, roles, scopes, tenant ID. Important. Validate token at gateway. Validate token at service if exposed. Do not pass sensitive data. Use service-to-service authentication. Use short expiry. Step 25. JWT with API gateway. API gateway can check, validate JWT, reject invalid tokens, route requests, pass user claims to services, apply rate limiting. But backend services should still protect sensitive actions. Good design. Gateway validates token. Service validates permissions. Step 26. JWT and multi-tenant apps. For SaaS applications, JWT may include tenant ID. Example. User_101, tenant ID org123, roles org admin. Backend must enforce. User can access only their tenant data. Example. Where tenant ID equals authenticated tenant ID. Never trust tenant ID from request body if JWT already has tenant context. Step 27. JWT testing. Test cases. Valid token accepted. Expired token rejected. Modified token rejected. Missing token rejected. Wrong issuer rejected. Wrong audience rejected. Wrong role rejected. Unsigned token rejected. Example. Change role user to admin manually. Expected result, request rejected. Step 28. JWT logging. Do not log full JWT. Bad. Authorization. Bearer, EYJHBCI. Better. Authorization token present. User ID, user101. Token ID, JTI123. Reason. Logs may be viewed by many systems. Tokens are credentials. Step 29. JWT monitoring. Monitor. Failed login attempts. Invalid token attempts. Expired token frequency. Refresh token reuse. Suspicious IP changes. High failure rate. Admin API access. Token revocation events. Useful for security alerts, account protection, debugging, compliance. Step 30. JWT 2026 Best Practices. Use. Check short-lived access tokens, refresh token rotation, HTTP-only secure cookies for refresh tokens, strong signing keys, RS-256 for distributed systems, issuer validation, audience validation, algorithm allow list, token revocation strategy, secure cores configuration, CSRF protection when using cookies, sensitive data in JWT, CERT, no full token logging, key rotation, Spring Security Resource Server when possible. JWT project structure with Spring Boot. Recommended structure. SRC, main, Java, com, example, security, /config, and security config Java. Controller, and auth controller Java. Service, and JWT service Java. Auth service Java. And refresh token service Java. Filter, JWT authentication filter Java. DTO, login request Java, and login response Java. Refresh response.java. Entity.refreshtoken.java. Real-world example. Example, React plus Spring Boot login system. Architecture, React login page, dash, Spring Boot auth API, dash, PostgreSQL user table, dash, JWT access token, dash, refresh token cookie, dash, protected APIs. Features. Check register user, login user, issue access token, issue refresh token, refresh access token, logout, role-based access, protect admin API. Backend responsibilities. Spring Boot handles. Capital, password validation, password hashing, password JWT creation, JWT validation, refresh token storage, refresh token rotation, logout, authorization, audit logging. Front-end responsibilities. React handles. Check login form. Check API calls. Sending access token. Check handling token expiry. Check redirecting to login. Check showing user profile. Check role-based UI display. Common beginner mistakes. 1. Thinking JWT is encrypted. JWT is usually only encoded and signed. Do not store secrets inside it. 2. Using one token forever. Long-lived access tokens are risky. Use short-lived access token plus refresh token. 3. Storing JWT everywhere. Avoid unnecessary storage. Use the safest storage option for your app. 4. Not handling expiry. Front-end should handle 401 unauthorized, then refresh token or redirect to login. 5. Not validating roles on backend. Hiding admin buttons in frontend is not enough. Backend must enforce authorization. 6. Hard coding secret key. Bad. Private string secret equals my secret. Better. Use environment variable or secret manager. 7. Not rotating keys. Production systems should support key rotation. Best practices. Use Spring Security. Use OAuth 2 resource server support when possible. Keep access tokens short-lived. Rotate refresh tokens. Store refresh tokens securely. Use strong signing algorithms. Validate issuer and audience. Avoid sensitive claims. Use HTTPS only. Protect against XSS and CSRF. Do not log tokens. Enforce authorization on backend. Use roles and scopes carefully. Revoke refresh tokens on logout. Monitor suspicious token usage. Test invalid token scenarios. Common interview questions. 1. What is JWT? JWT is a compact JSON-based token format used to securely transfer claims between systems. 2. What are the 3 parts of JWT? JWT has 3 parts. Header.payload.signature 3. Is JWT encrypted? Not by default. JWT is usually encoded and signed. Anyone can decode the payload unless encryption is used. 4. What is the purpose of JWT signature? The signature verifies that the token was not modified. 5. What is an access token? An access token is a short-lived token used to access protected APIs. 6. What is a refresh token? A refresh token is a longer-lived token used to get a new access token. 7. Where should JWT be stored? For browser apps, access tokens are often kept short-lived, and refresh tokens can be stored in HTTP-only secure cookies. 8. What happens when JWT expires? The backend rejects it. The client can use a valid refresh token to request a new access token. 9. Can JWT be revoked? JWT access tokens are hard to revoke immediately because they are stateless. Use short expiry, refresh token revocation, deny list, or token versioning. 10. Difference between authentication and authorization. Authentication checks. Who are you? Authorization checks. What are you allowed to do? JWT versus OAuth 2 feature. JWT OAuth 2 type. Token format, authorization framework. Purpose. Carries claims. Defines authorization flows. Example. Access token format. Login with authorization server. Relationship. OAuth 2 can use JWT. JWT can be used inside OAuth 2. Simple idea. JWT is a token format. OAuth 2 is a security framework. JWT versus API key. Feature. JWT versus API key. Identity. User or service claims versus application client identity. Expiry. Usually expires versus often long-lived. Signature. Signed token versus random secret value. Best for. User authentication versus service application access. Claims. Yes versus usually no. JWT versus basic auth. Feature. JWT versus basic auth. Credential sent, token. Username, password expiry, yes, no built-in expiry API. Friendly, yes, limited claims, yes, no. Modern apps common, less preferred JWT. Hands-on roadmap, beginner level. Learn. Check JWT meaning. Check token structure. Check header. Check payload. Check signature. Check access token. Build. Simple login API with JWT intermediate level. Learn. Check Spring security. Check JWT filter. Role-based access. Token expiry. Refresh token flow. Logout. Build. React plus Spring Boot authentication system. Advanced level. Learn. Checked OAuth 2 resource server. Checked issuer validation. Checked audience validation. Checked key rotation. Checked refresh token rotation. Multi-tenant claims. Checked microservice security. Build. Production-ready JWT authentication platform. 30-day learning plan. Week 1. JWT basics. Learn. What JWT is. Header, payload, signature. Claims. Access token, refresh token, bearer header. Practice. Decode JWT. Inspect claims. Understand expiry. Week 2. Spring Boot JWT. Learn. Check Spring security. Check login endpoint. Check JWT generation. Check JWT validation. Protected APIs. Practice. C. Build.login. C. Build.me. Week 3. Refresh token and roles. Learn. Refresh token storage. Refresh token rotation. Logout. Roles. Scopes. Practice. Build. Refresh. Build. Logout. Add admin endpoint. Week 4. Production security. Learn. Chark HTTP only cookies. Chark CSRF. Chark cores. Key rotation. Deny list. Monitoring. OAuth 2 resource server. Practice. Secure React plus Spring Boot app. Secure token tests. Secure add audit logs. Final summary. JWT is one of the most important authentication concepts for backend developers. Important concepts include token structure, claims, signature, access token, refresh token, bearer authentication, Spring security, role-based authorization, token validation, token expiry, secure storage, refresh token rotation. Backend developers already understand. Check APIs, check HTTP, check authentication, check authorization, check security, check databases. This makes JWT easier to learn. Key idea. JWT helps backend developers build stateless, secure, scalable authentication for modern APIs when implemented carefully.